tell you this much, you guys haven't changed a lick, yo. God bless all you. You guys look great, man. I feel like it's
Thank you.
30 years ago, and you're looking fantastic. Good for you.
It's the Latina in us.
There you go. They don't age.
That's it.
They don't age.
Okay, so today's guest is Eddie Cotto. We went to college with him. That's how we met. And, we've stayed connected all these years. And we have him on today. He worked for corporate America and then left it all behind to become a chef and open his own restaurant. And now he's in catering. How did we meet? Do you even remember?
Wow.
Does anybody remember how we met? Like, I knew you were part of the C0 crew.
Well, Regina.
Right. Yeah.
C0.
Right. Regina was close. Yeah. So it was really through Reg, right? That's the one thing that kind of, because you guys all clicked up, and obviously we were dating back then. So yeah, I would have to say it's through
But
there.
not freshman year.
Even before that, we were just partying together, and you guys were downstairs from us, no?
Yeah, because you guys were on the same floor right above us, right? That's what it was. We were C0, and you guys were right above us on the floor.
Yes. And we started, me, Regina, a couple of us, let's just say, and we started going to the union parties, and that's probably how and then we would see you guys around. So at first it was just partying together. Other than later on, it was just us partying together.
Yeah.
What was C0 again? Why is it sparking in my brain?
C0 was the floor that they lived on.
Was it all the guys?
Yeah. All the guys. And then sophomore year, you guys all went into a fraternity, right?
Most of us did. Well, it was funny. It was because you remember, as a freshman, they put everybody together. So we kind of really didn't know each other when we all met you guys. We were all new friends to each other. It wasn't like we already came from different schools, at least year one, right? And then after that, everybody kind of did their own thing. Fraternities all went to left or right or whatever. But C0 was just like a freshman year. Hey, I'm Eddie, you're Rob. This is, Johnny. This is whatever. And then we all just kind of clicked. It was kind of crazy how close we were because of that floor. Dynamic was pretty cool.
And I remember we had names for each of you. I don't remember your name though.
Oh, sure you don't.
I don't. I remember there was like Palladium guy. There was this guy. I remember there were names. We had names, like code names for you guys. I just knew him as Palladium guy. I don't remember his real name.
Palladium? Well, you called him Palladium?
Yeah, I remember seeing him in the Palladium before Stony Brook. And I was like, oh shit,
wow.
Palladium. So that was his name.
That. Was he in a cage? Dancing?
No, not all that. No. So Eddie, tell us about how you identify with your culture. Let's start there.
Wow. First generation here, New Yorican, right? One in Brooklyn. One of the reasons Mi Casa really was like, and when I call Mi Casa, for those who don't know, it's the brand, it's the restaurant or whatever. Now catering, we've pivoted multiple times and kind of changed different business models. But that was the chip I had on my shoulder. Like that was the big thing. Like even working in corporate America, being one of few Latinos in the 90s and 2000s or whatever, and being a VP at Mora, and then kind of just looking around, it was like, yo, have you ever been to a Puerto Rican restaurant? Have you ever had like, and they're like, nah, but I've been to Puerto Rico, and it was funny. Even when I went to culinary school, like the dynamic, I was the old guy in culinary school, you know what I mean? So like I was going to school at night. And everybody was 18, 20 when I was already in my 30s. So it was like, I knew I was opening Mi Casa, where everybody was like dreaming to aspire to do something. I was already like, oh, I got the money. We're doing this. That's the only reason I went to culinary school. So then that whole thing is really, again, just representing Puerto Rico on a culinary map, which I felt that wasn't being done. I mean, I went to Puerto Rico and I had a fantastic French meal. I was like, what? Right? It was like bizarre, like, in Condado. You're starting to see gastronomy like super elevated now, and people kind of like fusion and stuff like that's cool. But I'm talking about the night. I'm talking straight out of college, and you're going there and you're saying, and then it was just weird. It was tough. I'll be honest with you. I almost felt like my first 10 years, I kind of missed, like I was ahead of my time a little bit because people didn't get it. People didn't understand having a reservation for a Puerto Rican restaurant. They didn't understand having a glass of wine with an empanada. You know what I mean? That was like far-fetched because it's Spanish food, right? What's Puerto Rican food? What's Spanish food, right? It's just Spanish food, right? So I think that was definitely my biggest challenge. But again, going back to the question, again, that's why I pursued what I did and really to again, at the end of the day, we're going to lose myself. I married a Filipino, right? So my culture gets diluted by union, right? But it doesn't get diluted by history, music, food, right? How do you cherish that and kind of go back and kind of really push that envelope to get to the next step, teaching classes and all that other stuff that I got involved with, which really opened up my doors because I had to sharpen I had to go back to school for a little bit and learn my own culture a little bit more, which is kind of cool. And really the African influence to the Caribbean world and my food and stuff like that. So it's kind of, I'm blessed, man. I'm blessed, to be here. And, May 12th, 2016 will be 15 years. 17 years since college, 15 years since we opened the first restaurant. The fact that we've survived Sandy, COVID, la metida pata that I've done and myself since groups as an entrepreneur and all that to still be here talking to you guys. This is dream stuff, man.
So you were Goldman Sachs?
I'm in Nomura Securities, Japanese.
Nomura.
I did work for Goldman.
I remember Nomura.
That's how I ended up in Jersey City. That's how kind of with my wife. I did work at Goldman for a little bit. I pivoted over to Nomura. To be honest, it was funny because my buddy who was with us originally was at Barclays, and then he decided to move over to Nomura. I went to Goldman, and then he called me over, and that's how my Nomura career. But Nomura was always the one place that made me feel right as a person. It wasn't like a corporate thing. It was just a good job thing. You know what I mean? And the people just made sense to me until this day. Hence why I went back, and that's why they took me back. And that relationship was always transparent as far as what my goals were and where I wanted to go. I kind of live a double life, I got a call back a couple of years back where I my old boss, because when I sold the second restaurant in 2019, my old boss was like, "You're not doing nothing," but I still had the catering and I still had the food trucks and all that, And then he's like, "You know, why don't you come back and consult?" Because the space I used to work for in finance before was like the mortgage side. So he was like, "Hey, we're getting back in the business. You've been my right hand for a long time." They used to come to my restaurant, so I still had a lot of corporate connections only because of the corporate catering and stuff. So then I said, "Look, I'm kind of like shifting. Hopefully, come April, we're going to focus totally on food trucks, but I'll take a 6-month contract and help you guys out." They pay me the money. And then COVID hit. And it was bizarre because for me, it was like, all right, so now the business slowed down. Thank God we had state contracts to help first responders and stuff. So that saved us a lot. Saved my team really because, and thank God it's even better. I mean, again, honestly, great because he allowed me to get out of the last restaurant. The last restaurant was $13,000 a month rent. So if we were there during COVID, we wouldn't be talking today. So I'm blessed. Yeah. And then it was just weird. 6 months turned into, all right, I'm not opening a restaurant. I'll take another 6-month contract. And now it's September 10th will be 6 years. So my Monday through Friday, I'm finance guy. And then my nights and weekends, well, it depends because I work from the kitchen. So today I was working from the kitchen. I worked from 9 to 3, my office job. And then, which is with my old company that I was with for 10 years. I had a tasting earlier for a wedding that's happening next year. So that's why I'm just like this. I'm not all dirty. I don't smell like empanadas because I come home smelling like empanadas all the time.
We like that. I like that cologne.
Yeah. Until you're married to it. Then my wife's like, "Go shower."
I'll take that cologne. Beef or chicken?
How did you know you wanted to become a chef? Like, did you always cook when you were young?
Yeah. That was something. Yeah. That was something, again, back to the island. Like, so my mom's side of the family had a pretty big farm. And part of their, like, me growing up with chores, or if I was there for the summer, like most Puerto Ricans go back to summer, don't come back till leave in June, come back in September, spend summer after summer after summer con abuela, right? While you were there, you had chores. Yeah. And you had chores, and that culture was like just infused, and the food was there. What I didn't realize was that I had a skill set, right? I didn't realize. I thought, even when I got to college, again, I don't know if you guys remember, I never really had a meal plan except my freshman year. I never had a meal plan. I cooked. I always figured out a way to either use the side kitchens or whatever, and I always cooked. So I didn't, after my freshman year, and that was something that I really just was on me because I had already learned how to cook when I was like in high school and college and stuff like that. My mom had a small catering business, so that was my thing. So I knew I'd eventually end up in the food industry. I didn't know to what capacity. I didn't know what happened the last 6 years. That's definitely, I couldn't write that one up. That what's happened to me, oof, it's crazy. I would have never thunk it that way and driven that way. And I just went for it, and it just kind of just kept evolving to what it is today. To be honest, I don't even know what my next move is. I just know it's food driven for the rest of my life. It's not a job. It's a passion. So it's something different. I try to tell people when I teach classes, like, "Chef, I want to do what you do." No, you don't. This is like the least paying, hardest working. You don't want to do what I do. But if you love it, then you'll. I've had a couple of people say, like, I took your class. You seem like a jerk. I was like, "Why did I seem like a jerk?" And they're like, "Well, you said we weren't going to be successful." I said, "Did that bother you?" And they said, "Yeah, well, that's probably the attitude you need to be successful in this business, right? So go tell me to go F myself and go pick my pants up and go do it regardless of what everybody says, because it's such a difficult business. There's so many variables. I picked the worst business to love, the worst. I could have sold sneakers. It would have been a lot easier. you know. Well,
People and their
TikTok,
food, man.
TikTok. But no, again, that was something. Again, food is in my family, mostly on my mom's side. My grandmother's. I don't want to disrespect them because they see this shit, but on my father's side, they're all really good cooks. I was been around food a long time, which I think most of us, or Latinos, like I feel like the food dynamic kind of left itself in our generation, especially if you're first generation college, like I was, or like you guys. You know what I mean? Like that's when it's like you're too
Mhm.
busy to learn how to cook and stuff like that. I just made sure that never
Right.
really left me. You know what I mean? And then obviously when I got to do professionally, it was crazy.
Just to chime in real quick, I remember my mom. I feel like for our culture, food is it's like love. Like food is love in the Puerto Rican culture, many cultures. And I feel like, there's the arroz con pollo in my family is so treasured. And my grandmother had her herbs, her cow and everything in the backyard. And then like my mom and my aunt were amazing cooks because they learned from her. And then we would just like make jokes in the family. And then I make it for my kids because my kids love it. And like I literally spent COVID like, "Mom, what is it that yours is next level to mine, but mine's is still good?" So, the grandma had it
Yeah,
made,
yeah,
no
yeah.
joke.
It's
Mami
yeah,
Goya
no,
had it down.
it's yeah, yeah,
But,
no,
like, it's still love, it's still a joke. My kids are like, "Savor." My kids would say to my mom, "Ah, this is heaven," you know? And it's just love. It's like she was like, she knew that they loved it and she would make it, and I just find love just to be a part of that as
Mhm.
well. And to be able to bring that, like, for you to be able to bring that to the public is not just bringing food, it's bringing, like, your culture and love and passion as well.
yeah. I
Mhm.
mean, again, it's funny because it wasn't until I started realizing that food wasn't a business that it actually started making me money. It was like the old saying, if you chase money, it runs faster, right? It's kind of one of those
Mhm.
things, you know? It wasn't. Because there's just so many things and so many dynamic lanes you can choose within the food industry from a food and I'd less to say that I've tried them all at least once, and then you find your lane and you kind of stick to that a little bit. And but yeah, it goes back to the art of food and the love and your culture and your people and mommy, abuela, y titi, and all that fun stuff. Like they all have a little piece of, I hate to say it's so cliche, mi casa, but it really
Mhm.
is a part of all of that is all wrapped into one what I serve daily. It's a piece of that.
Do you have a dish on your menu that tells a story?
Oh man, you can't do that. There's too many stories. I got a story to tell, like Biggie Smalls.
Like something that you put on your menu that, was
I'll
for a
tell you a
reason.
funny one who doesn't get enough credit, and I'll laugh, and we could laugh about it. My dad, typical dad. If you ever see this, I love you. He is traditional. Mom's the cook. He was the worker, right? The traditional kind of home setting in the past, and he's a really good sandwich hot dog guy, right? He doesn't cook much. But while I was designing the menu, I was so mom driven. Like my mom was like my first sous chef, if you will. She's the chef that basically just worked with me, like literally day and night in my kitchen, helped design menus, did food cost with me, like broke it down. She got it. My mom take a step further. She had her own business, 15 years as an entrepreneur, holding it down. She had a beauty parlor, so she loves food and design and the creativity side. It all comes from her. When I was literally designing the first couple of menus, I wanted something that reflected on everything that we ate. And there was really not many dishes that could like represent my dad except like a sandwich. And I'm like, I'm trying to be bougie. Like I wasn't trying to do like, jamon y queso. Like I'm saying that's my dad. Like I'm not doing that. I'm not throwing that on the menu. You know what I mean? So it's funny. We went out. We had a little, not a bender, but we had a good night out. And we came back and I started making some dishes. And you drunk, you just throw some beer in a thing, whatever. And then the next day we had it for leftovers. And my dad, I was like, drunken chicken. And that's been on our menu and one of our top sellers for 15 years.
Wow.
Yes, the chicken breast marinated and sofrito, onions, beer, and then pan seared and sauteed with caramelized onions. And it's very, very popular. So kudos to
Oh
you,
my
Dad.
God.
Because when I designed the menus, I guess, you know what? It's Dad. We got to stick to the plans, and and trust me, we've gone through hundreds and hundreds of items, and that's one of the top 10, top 15. So kudos to Dad on that.
So Eddie, tell us a little bit about your journey in entrepreneurship because I know I've experienced this. A lot of people talk about this, how it kind of brings you into your money mindset, right? And then your money mindset brings you into, how this risk that I was raised with, not by my parents, but like the job is the secure thing, right? The job is the security. So now you're in entrepreneurship needing to provide your own benefits, your own health insurance, don't know how much you're going to make a month at times, right?
The
And
instability factor, yeah.
that takes courage. And that also takes believing in yourself, right? Which is part of the passion, because I know this is my path. I got to figure out how it goes, I just don't know how it's going to go. And that's like faith, right? Faith in yourself.
And yeah.
About that, if that resonates with you, or if you can
Yeah,
identify
it's
with
funny.
that.
It's funny you say that. I feel like it resonates a lot when I've been looking for a partner for several years, or someone to build a business, because through time I've realized that my dream is way bigger than me, right? Because every time I reach a certain level, I realize, wait a minute, I could only do X by myself, right? And you keep trying to do it a different way, and it just doesn't work, right? But I realized that that entrepreneurial mindset is definitely something you're built with, right? I don't think you can. I really don't think you can teach it, because I've been trying to teach it. And I would say 9 out of 10 have failed at it, because it's just not within them, because they don't really understand what an entrepreneur is. So for me, I love, and I hate, I'm sure you heard this before, but it's being comfortable being uncomfortable, right? All the time, right? All the time. Like, you've mastered the art of being uncomfortable. As a matter of fact, I'm more comfortable, right? That's like it's weird, because I call it PTSD, call it a trauma, whatever. But if shit's going right, I'm not, something's wrong, right? So I'm always thinking so, but I think that's an entrepreneurial mindset, because you're always trying to grow and be better and tweak and tweak and tweak. So yeah, no, that's definitely a part of it. I don't think when I initially graduated culinary school, and I said, I'm going in, it's something that I grew into. But I think the fear factor is something you're just born with. Like, you just have, you don't care. The consequences are irrelevant, because it's a win, right? Having that mindset that it's a win even when you lose is entrepreneurial one. The fear. Don't ask me how to get it done, fail, and then I'll tell you what you could have done better. Like, that's what I'm teaching now.
Right. Do it scared.
Yeah, just move. I want to be an entrepreneur, and then 2 seconds later, chef, should I do this? Like, no, no, that's not how it works. You got to go do it, figure it out on your own. It's like raising kids, right? Like, you gotta go through the failure path. You have to. If you don't go through that, it's not gonna hurt, and you're not gonna learn, and then it's pointless, and I'm wasting my time, because you're just not built for that. So the first question I tell them, like when I teach a class, like, guys, you sure you want to do this? You sure? That's why people's like, oh my son, you sound so pessimistic. No, it's not that. It's my job. I've lost too much. I'm really good at losing money. I'm really good. Like, give me $5, it's gone. So because I've done it in reverse, like, now I know how not to, right? Now I know what makes sense, and now I know I can teach you. But losing that and doing what I did, I don't recommend for anybody. It was a painful process that I did a half-ass backwards. So I feel like my calling has changed as an entrepreneur. And I don't know if you feel this way, but if you have an opportunity to teach out, your legacy is not the money, it's not this. My kid has grown. Like, it's about how do we teach them not to do the same mistakes we did, but also letting them make enough mistakes that they learn from it. Right? But entrepreneurship is crazy, and be careful what you ask for. Everyone says, oh, it takes 5 years. Don't take 5 years. Bullshit. Don't take 5 years. I think realistically, the number's somewhere around the 10-year mark, when you find like a level of comfort. So I'm going to tell you, go do something that you love, that you do for free for 10 years, don't get paid, and figure it out. And everybody's like, what? Like, you're crazy, But that's real. That's real. That's really what it is. And then for some reason, you gotta be a little crazy, Melissa. I gotta be honest with you. You gotta have a little crazy, not in a bad way, but a little, like, that itch
Daring?
that you just, yeah,
Bravery.
daring. Like,
Courage.
you don't care, right? It's almost
It's
like
courage.
someone who skydives, right? Someone who skydives, that they get the high from it. I think the entrepreneur level is the same way. You get a high, and you get something in your endomorphins, or something clicks in that you're like, oh, I kind of like fucking up. That was great. Let's do it again.
I think it's a constant challenge, and to be given challenges. That's what
100%.
entrepreneur is. To not make what you made 4 months ago, me speaking, to not have enough clients to give you the income you were making for like 6 months straight, and all of a sudden 4 months straight, you're not making that. But then it's like, all right, how can I get creative? How can I grow? How can I market? What do I have to learn? Putting whether it's coach or doing your own internal work. And then it's like, but I wouldn't want to do anything else.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
That's
I'll
the
take the
weird
risk.
part.
I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna figure out every single way that I can do more, but I cannot focus on the thing that I wanted to leave, which was nonprofit organizations and social work, which suck as hell. Like, they just treated you like shit. So my thing was, I don't want to go back to that, although I would if I had to, or I would do
Right.
X, Y, and Z if I had to.
Right.
I'll always
Right.
do what I have. But if I don't have to, now I'm getting creative to how can I do this X, Y, and Z because there's just no turning back for me, at least for me. And I think that's the crazy piece you're talking about,
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
like that. This is my passion.
100%.
This is what I love. I'm not going back unless, I mean, I have to be in dire straits. And this has not been an easy year. But thankfully, I've been able to do what I do regardless. And so I feel like, that passion just comes out because now all of a sudden you're so creative that you make it work. You make it happen.
100%. 100%. You hit it right on the nail. It's funny because do I say I went back? I wouldn't. Like I said, we lost a lot of money for a couple of years, right? But I figured out how to pay the rent. I figured it all out, right? And hence, when they came back to me to go back, like you just said, it was a blessing. I'm not going to sit here and say that it helped me straighten out, but I'll tell you this much. It also solidified me going back to what I do, my 9 to 5, if you will. It only solidified what my purpose is in life even more, that I know I'm a chef and that I know food is my lane and I know God, this is my calling because this is how I affect lives. And when I left it and I tried it and I wasn't as successful at it, it was kind of like, there's always doubt, right? Anyone says, I don't doubt, lies. That's impossible, right? You just can't. But then it's doubt for a little short period of time. It's doubt to say, wait a minute, no, fuck that. I'm hopping on the bus again today and we're going to try it out. And now being back there for 6 years, I want to get out of this so bad. But again, it's different. Your approach is different because now I don't have anything to prove. I don't need to worry about, is my mofongo really that good that I can sell it? That's over, right? I'm not worried about that. Depends who. I think Sammy, we had a combo. I think I called you. Did you guys like the food? I was freaking out. I think it was from Melissa.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember
Oh,
you
me
told me
too.
that.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, he's crazy. It was
But
so. I
that's
was just thinking
different
about that. That's crazy.
because it's you guys, because you held a different place in my heart. So my concern for you is not client level, it's my homies. You know what I mean? So that's a little different. And again, the situation I
great.
had it was even more so. So, but yeah, no, you still worry about opinions. I'm not gonna say you don't. It's just not the 10,000 of Google rating you. It's more the
You
60 people in a circle.
you want to make people happy. Food. Everyone
Yeah, that's the
centers around the
hospitality
food.
side.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
that's the hospitality side. That's another thing that a chef told me a long time ago. You got to be very careful with falling in love with making other people's happy and not yourself. Because you will spend all your energy going out and nothing's coming in. You got to fuel the tanks. Yeah, life lessons in the hospitality.
Well, it was
field.
delicious.
Oh, thank you.
It was delicious.
Yay.
Huh?
See, you guys. If God willing, when you guys go up and you're rich and all of that, I'm sending you food so that we could all eat while we talk. That's what I had that in my mind. If we had the time, we should all be having empanadas and acapulcias right now.
Yeah.
I would love
I
that.
could ship them to North Carolina, UNC. I got you.
You can?
Yeah, absolutely. As a matter of fact,
Yeah.
let's work on a Christmas package. I'm going to send you. We're
Okay.
working on a frozen e-commerce platform. So un pernil, arroz con gandules, pasteles, and I got you all in a box.
Ah, yummy. Melly
I
will
got
be
you.
here.
I'm going to be there, so I'll be enjoying
Oh,
it
you're
too.
gonna be there.
I make a really good tres leches and flan.
Nice. So it's funny. I have to sharpen up I got my desserts, but it was something I could never really get into. It's still time. Like for me, it was time consuming to learn everything at one shot, and I still have.
Yeah.
Like I have a couple of tricks up my sleeve.
Yummy.
Well, I
Yes.
remember when you first opened the restaurant where we all went for dinner.
And I missed that day. I missed it.
Yeah.
I was supposed to go.
Yeah,
Blessing.
you were so good. I was so happy. You were just so happy. You were all over the place. You were like, I'm the poorest I've ever been, but I'm happy. Lots for everybody.
But it's the truth. It's so true. Like it's something
You were
you
so
can't
cute.
you
Love
can't
it.
you can't deny that, man. It's so you go for it, you see it, and you live it, and you never know how long you're gonna have it. And I think that's really part of it too, right?
Yeah.
You never know because time flies.
It's funny too because you'd be surprised how small this world is. I was taking a class and two of the ladies in my class, Filipino, I don't know how your name came up. We were talking about food and you were catering my daughter's sweet 16. And I said your name and they were like, what? And they used to go to your restaurant all the time. And they were so sad when you closed the restaurant or when you left. And they were like, that was our spot. We went there to eat all the time. I'm like, what? I was like, oh, I went to college with him. And they're like, what? It was like, it's so weird.
And your
It's rare.
star.
Yeah.
No, it's great. It's crazy. You don't realize how you went. Like to me, this again part of the entrepreneurial side, and you don't realize who you impact until you step away from it. Like I was so busy working. Like I love if you could always go back, you would change tons of stuff, right? Regret. People say I don't regret. That's bullshit. But I don't regret it because it's who I am. But I would say the person I was so forward focused that I wasn't enjoying the present. Do you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Mhm.
So I would say I would wish to change that part because that was dope times that I look at pictures and people have footage and I go like, I'm doing baby showers for kids who I did 7th grade at graduation. Now they're having babies and I'm catering their weddings, right? Because you don't realize
Wow.
15 years go by and they're like, yo, check this picture. It's me and you in the kitchen. You let me make a mofongo. And I'm like, I don't remember that. Right? Which is kind of a little sad now because I do want to remember that. Do you know what I mean? But again, focus on what's happening now and enjoy the process, right? Enjoy the process. I tell you, once I started making money, I was like, I don't want to do this shit no more. It's weird.
Mm.
The process of getting to that point was good. Entrepreneurs, like that's the fun part. The whole getting to where you got. But again, they always say a dream is a dream. A Lamborghini is only just another car until you get it, right? Once you get it, it's just another
Mhm.
Honda, right?
Mhm.
So I think that's kind of what happens. And not that you're not grateful, you are, but you kind of what's next,
I just think it's interesting too how, it's connection really too, like how we reconnected. I just randomly looked you up
Yeah.
on Instagram and was like, I want Puerto Rican food for my mom's funeral. And then it's like, here we are doing a podcast like over a year later. Like it's
Not a coincidence, man. The big man's got us on his eyes. It's not a coincidence, guys. None of
Mm.
it is a
yeah.
coincidence. I don't believe it. Souls are meant to come and go and stay and blessings, man.
Yeah.
Blessings, blessings, blessings. Blessings,
It's
blessings.
just
Well, and I just want to say, Eddie caters all my retreats, which I'm very grateful for.
He
Yeah,
does.
we got
yeah.
another one coming up. We got another one. We got
We
both
have
of them.
another one coming up in October. It'll be the 3rd one, and he's catering it every time. And it's important to me, not just because you're my friend and not just because your food's amazing, but also
Oh,
because
thank you.
it's a retreat for people of color, women of color, and I want it to be genuine. For that, everything down to the food is made
So
by
what you
a
having?
person of
What's
color.
the menu? Tell me.
The first time we had well, I'll tell her what we had and how we're pivoting. Like,
Yeah.
the first
Yeah.
time we had arroz con gandules, pollo asado, plátano maduro. Sam was at that retreat. She remembers. So
Mhm.
of course, it was amazing. Like, me and Ida would get people like, "Where did you do catering?" And we actually always say it. The second one, we were like, "Well, it's still not a lot of people, so it was a lot of food." And of course, we're all learning. Then I called Eddie and I was like, "I'm looking for wraps, but I still want empanadas. We still want the Latin flavor." So then he kind of delivered with that. Still, everybody came up to us. So we did empanadas. We did, I don't remember, wraps, chicken wraps. We did mini cubanos. We did
Come
cubanos.
on.
Because I was like, I wanted to have flavor, but like not maybe a big meal like
I
the
love
typical.
that.
So it was so good, and I think we're gonna go with that again.
Yeah,
but we'll see.
been hot lately. And I like the small dainty like little
Mhm.
cocktail events. When it comes to you guys, when you guys order, I make your food because I got a really good team. I still do the private chef side, but the operation itself, because I have my other job, like the basic catering, my sous chef he's dope. Like I don't need to police him that much unless it's something off the menu. So the couple today, I'm doing some Haitian food. It's a Puerto Rican dude marrying a Haitian girl. So that's when Chef Eddie comes in. I'm like, I get all excited because I'm tired of making arroz con gandules and pernil. I'm sorry. Let him do that. You know what I mean? I'm like, people tell me, how
What are
many
you
pernils
doing?
you think you made? Honestly, I remember trying to calculate, and this was like 7, 8 years ago. This was like 40,000 pennies, no lie. It's like some ridiculous number. We're
Wow.
like, but we used to do 30 and 40 a day, times this, times that. No, that was like 5 years ago. It was like close to 40. So it's just like, I don't want to know about pernil. I've been cheating on my wife for pernil. Le pegué con
That's my favorite.
pernil. I mean, I'm so blessed, and I think we do it well, and people that's like again, you can't take that away. Again, pastela season's coming, which is another one. Oh my god! So that's
God.
right around the corner. My
Good
team
luck with
hates
that.
it. They hate it. I
It's
go
a
in and
lot of
make like
work.
the first 4 or 5
A lot
dozen.
of
I'll
work.
go in, because they always need a refresh. So I'll do the 4 or 5 dozens, and after that, the rest is yours. I'll see you later. Bye.
I remember making them as a kid when we went to Puerto Rico for the holidays. My
But
titi,
what's
we
funny?
saw an
That's like
SME line.
that's the best part. I mean, to me, like when you're selling them, it's not that fun. But if it's your mom and your aunt and your sister and you got it, you wrap them. I got this. Mommy está con la bicho. You're like, that's awesome, man. Going back to like the culture food question, right? How that's
Yes, core
stayed
memory.
with it. Yeah, man.
Yeah, core memory. And then I get offended because people better not put ketchup on my food. So I get
But that's a good
so
question.
pissed off
Ketchup or no
that
ketchup?
people that put
Ketchup or no
ketchup
ketchup?
on a pastel, put ketchup on my rice, and get out of my house.
Yeah, that just does not go. I'm
No.
sorry.
No?
I'm with you.
So
Does
stop. So
not.
hold on a
It
second. Hold on a
pisses
second.
me off.
So so hold on. I got a question. So white rice and ketchup, we've had it. Don't lie. You know you've
No.
had it. Not your thing. No, don't like
I've
it.
had it.
No, but I'm saying, do you like it?
No.
Like it was
No.
no.
Susanna's married to my cousin, FYI, and my cousin used to
Okay.
eat all these things with ketchup when he was a kid. And I go to Puerto Rico, and he'd be like, "El ketchup, dame el ketchup," and like he put it on the rice. I'm like, "What is wrong with you?"
No. He doesn't do that
I'm
anymore.
Puerto Rican, and I don't do that.
Just
That
on
is
our bacon,
hilarious.
egg, and cheese on Saturday morning. That's it.
Yeah,
That's
no,
it.
he's
How
evolved.
about all right? Ketchup on pasteles, yay or nay?
Nay.
No. No.
Yeah. Nay. Yeah.
You put ketchup. You put ketchup.
I
Eddie,
put ketchup.
Wait.
I do put ketchup on my pasta. But it's a hold on a second. Hold on. Let me take a step back. Is ketchup with
Blasphemy.
like a hot sauce mix that I make? I make I'm a sauce guy. So I do like a ketchup
Okay.
in-house pizza kind of thing that kind of goes over. So yes, I do. I laugh. But I don't do the ketchup and white rice no more. Those days are over. I don't do the ketchup and white rice. Those days are over.
I could probably mess with. I know.
Yeah, it's like a
You know.
spicy side of ketchup.
No ketchup.
Yeah.
I don't even put ketchup on fries. No.
Hey, me neither. Me
No.
neither.
Gosh, I don't know about that. What?
Yes.
No,
I'm
you're
sorry.
just not a ketchup lover. You're anti-ketchup. You put ketchup on
No.
anything?
No.
Bacon, egg,
On a
and cheese.
burger.
A bacon, egg, and cheese. I dip it. That's,
So
you know.
so she's a dip. Oh, you're a dipper. That's dangerous. And then
Or
you
a BEC, like a proper BEC, dip it in the ketchup.
got it. And Samantha, ketchup on anything? No,
Just maybe a hamburger.
a
See,
burger.
I don't even do that. I don't even put it on a hamburger.
Melly, ketchup? No ketchup, Melly.
Definitely not on like food, but like yeah, on French fries and
Wow.
maybe a turkey.
Well, you're also talking to a girl would get tuna. Remember tuna salad in Stony Brook with Italian dressing
Yes,
and
I
American
would get
cheese.
like a
That was
tuna
the
melt with
best.
Italian dressing. Oh,
Hey,
see,
yeah.
I'm
that?
with you. I'm
In
agreeing.
Stony
I
Brook?
defend the Italian dressing on a tuna salad. I'm just saying because it's actually a
I
pretty good
liked it.
ingredient.
Melly put me onto it.
Mm-hmm.
Down here in Raleigh because we ain't got shit here.
Really?
There's
Again,
no Spanish food by you?
There's a few, not many, but the food here, I mean, it's growing because, you know, a lot of New York is coming down here. So it's growing, it's booming, it's coming up, but nothing really wows me like it does up there. Like nothing really, like I went to a place over the weekend with my mother and they're like known for their bruschetta and I got it. I'm like, if they just put like a schmear of the goat cheese, like a thin schmear. I want it like all whipped up in like
Yeah.
mountains, you know.
Yeah.
No, it was a schmear. No, you don't do that.
Yeah,
Don't do that. It tasted okay, but it didn't wow me. Nothing really wows me here.
I have a question for you.
So
Where in North Carolina are you? Where in North Carolina?
I'm in Raleigh.
Oh, you are in Raleigh.
So I'm
Okay,
just,
cool.
yeah. Mm-hmm,
Okay.
mm-hmm.
That's honestly,
Yeah.
that's where if I were to ever open a restaurant, I would go. I'd be at Raleigh. I like
Please
Raleigh a lot.
do. I will run that shit. I will leave
We'll quit
nursing.
nursing.
She's looking for a reason.
I
She
need
will
to
do
get
it.
out of nursing.
No, see, I got people in trouble because then the husbands start calling me, yo, my wife's about to leave job. You open a restaurant? Wait a minute, you don't quiero problema, papi. Everyone listens to my story like, yo, you inspired my wife. She wants to open a food truck. I was like, oh, here we go. Jesus Christ.
I thought about that here. Let me tell you something. That's how bad it is. I thought about opening a food truck here.
Well, I'll put the proposal. If that's something you're doing, I'll fly down there and I'm coaching you because I'm not letting you do it by yourself.
Okay.
Deal.
Yeah, no, I won't.
And again,
right.
I would definitely partner up with anyone in North Carolina if you all listen out there. Because I think we would do extremely well out there.
Yes,
and I need a pace. I need a change. I need a change of pace.
Yeah.
So.
I'm telling you, this is the place is the next big thing.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now. My friend owned a hospitality group over in New York City. And I keep telling him, you have to open in Raleigh. That's like that's the next big thing.
Yeah,
telling you.
I agree. And again, the competition is minimal. Not that, again, we've been blessed to compete in New York.
Really is.
No, it's minimal.
It's minimal. I mean, there's places out there that look good and they look good and they sound good and the food, I mean, it's just nothing wows you like it does up there.
Yeah.
It's really, especially with Puerto Rico.
It doesn't reflect because I was watching John Leguizamo has a show on CNN that it talks about every single city. He goes to every single city and talks about the Hispanic population and the strengths and the things like food. and other things. And Raleigh, he did one on Raleigh, and he mentioned a really high influx. And I've been there many times, so I know I could see why he would say it. Latinos or Latinx groups, how it just doesn't reflect the food industry. So he like went to like 3 or 4 different restaurants, and it's like the way that it's booming with Latinos, there's not enough. And so like he highlighted a food
Let's go,
truck of
Susanna. Let's go, Susanna.
Yeah, I'm
Let's get it
telling
right.
you.
let's
Let's
do
go.
it. Gotta
It's
Let's
even
go.
there's a Milonga Bakery. It's it's Argentinian, and I would go to them like 30 minutes from my house just to get their stuff.
Yeah. Right.
There's a Cuban place over here. Again, it doesn't wow me. There is a Puerto Rican. There's Cuban. There's a lot of that Mexican, that cantina
that's
shit.
everywhere.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't want that. And I think there's like a few Dominican spots, but really nothing. You'd blow up.
You say the word, man. Susana's casa. Let's go.
No, mi casa es su casa.
Susanita.
Susanita.
call you that from now on.
Vamos. Let's go. I'm there. I just want to be in the kitchen. Honestly, you could be the Mickey Mouse at Disney World. I'll be the guy in the back. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? I'm in.
Totally.
I'm in.
All right.
I'm in.
So we want to ask you, what are your 3 pet peeves? Did you hear ours in another podcast?
I did. Yours always stick in my mind. I was like, I gotta
Let me
clean
see your nails, motherfucker.
I gotta clean my hands.
Can you do push-ups?
Do you drive a Camry?
That's a good question. What are my pet peeves?
Customer wise.
Yeah. Do that.
Okay, fair. Yeah. I got a lot of those.
Yeah.
I got.
See?
So
There you go,
I always
Sammy.
find it rude. I find it rude and this is just in general. It's not just with me, but I've seen it because I've been blessed to help other people open up a place. Some have been successful, some have not. And just understanding you guys are smart enough. Like when you teach someone, you regurgitate what you know, you learn it even more. So I've been able to implement what I've taught someone else back to me on a higher level. And what I've noticed is, and just the nature of the way people are. I guess my pet peeve is, if you're gonna sit there and give someone 1 star the 22nd time you walk into the restaurant, then they should have deserved 21 5 stars the first 20 times you were there. You understand what I'm saying? So that's a pet peeve of mine. The saying is, you go to one good restaurant, you tell 5. You go to one shitty one, you tell 500. Like that annoys me because I don't think people understand specifically food, the dynamic of how you can assist. You don't even have to. You can go somewhere and buy a soda and see the hospitality. You don't have to go have dinner. And if you feel giving someone a review on a small business are relying upon that. And again, my heart goes back to the fact that I survived. I won't even give you a number. Let's just say it was a lot more money than I could have ever thought of producing. I lost. So that broke me. Just be constructive. If you really didn't like it, that's fine. Just tell me how we could do better. So that's a pet peeve of mine. Let me give it I got a 1-star review. I always remember that these are the classics. So 1-star review because they didn't have a reservation. They came to my restaurant. Reservation only. Sorry, we didn't have a reservation. We just came up from Philly. So he gets a 1-star review. Makes no sense, right? How's that my fault?
Okay.
1-star review of the food truck. The bay leaf, la hoja de laurel, was in la carne guisada. And you're supposed to take them out as you're cooking. We're making 40, 50 gallons of it. It landed in someone's plate. She's like, there's a tree in my bed. Oh my God, I was wrong. 1-star review because there was a leaf from a tree in her carne guisada, That being said, using the same thing, I think most people are. If you're good at what you do and you're successful, you'll fight through all of those little 1 stars, and the truth will eventually come out, of what you really are.
Yeah, thank you.
But you got my wheels turning, Susanna. North Carolina. My next venture is kind of like really intimate private dinners, max of 10. Like a chef's table. It's not chef's table. It's a way to interact with everybody. You're the server. You have this whole pre-plan, and I love doing it. I do it now for people, but I usually do it at their home. But I think the next step is creating that. So I'm telling you, we got to figure out a way, please, if you allow me, to get you guys together. Obviously, hubbies or whoever included. I would say max 10, 12 people, and I'll come in and cook it up for you guys.
I would love that. But you got to hang out with us and you got to, eat with us too. I remember in COVID, because I followed you on social media, that you were doing frozen food for a little bit.
Yeah. So that's kind of what ended up happening. The story behind that was my boy Abraham Lopez, good dude. I met him. He's actually he probably might have changed my life in this game. Like he ended up being the marshal to the Puerto Rican Day Festival in Jersey City. And he's Jersey City born, bred, really educated kid, political science guy. He's into politics. He was the deputy mayor of a small town in South Jersey called West Hampton, which is like Mount Holly, not far from Philly. And he came to me and he was like, bro, you're doing something crazy here. Like, I don't think people are really getting it, but I also think you're thinking too small. And I was like, whatever. And I was in the midst of like a lot of money in the hole. And I'm like, whatever. And he kept Facebook and sending me texts. And it was like, this guy, I get you. I'm sure that happens if you're an entrepreneur. You get, oh, I can help you do this, or I can help you do that. I can help you do that. You go to like the first 20, and then after that, you kind of like lose faith. Like, no, I don't know if you really what's going to happen. Like, so I kind of approached it as such. But he said, give me one day. I had it, no lies. He said, I had a dream, and I spoke to my wife, and my wife believes I need to go speak to you. Give me an hour or two of your time, and I'll show you what my plan is. Now, at this point, I had no idea who he was. And it turns out he was the chief of staff of Chris Christie, who was the governor. He was the mayor down in the small town, deputy mayor there. Super educated dude. And he came to me. He had the resources to kind of put together what he did for political campaigning. He's Latino, he's Boricua. So he dealt more with like campaigning behind, the Latin campaigns and stuff like that, how to attract people. And he broke it down. He came to me with like a little map and he's like, see this? This is where you're going to open up first. You're going to open up in my town first. You bring your truck, you build a rep for about a year, you take it out, we open up shop. And then he had like 14 other locations in the state. And the reason he did demographic research and people who are going to want what you want. You're thinking too small. You're sticking Jersey City. It's too much. Go down there. The best thing we have down there is Chipotle or Taco Bell. You're going to crush it. And sure enough, he did it. Like, obviously the first one, we went down there. I never sold so much food in my life. So it was kind of like, he was the one, he's like, let's go bigger. How about e-commerce? Let's look at, empanadas, alcapurrias, sofrito, y papas rellenas, frozen. That was the initial. That's why I tell you, you're going to be part of Susanna. You're going to get your little love package, hopefully, God willing, Christmas, only because we're really focusing on bringing that back. COVID knocked him out. He was the director for SeaWorld or Discovery's Zone and kind of set him back. And that was the plan we were working on in 2020. But we said 2026. So stay tuned.
Yeah. Okay.
Nice. Yeah, I remember seeing that. And I thought that was so genius.
Yeah, I think it makes sense. It was funny because, we tested sending food. So I don't know if you've done Omaha Steakhouse or whatever. So like those type of models where they send you like a turkey and you open it up and just like heating instructions, right? They send you a Christmas package that has a turkey or Thanksgiving. That's kind of what we're modeling after. So, but just a Boricua version of that. So we'll see. Again,
it's like
he's the
Goldbelly.
marketing
genius. You don't know Goldbelly? Goldbelly is a website where a lot of the so I'm in North Carolina, so I can get bagels from like Utopia Bagels in Queens. A lot of like favorite cakes, favorite bagels, even pizzas, things like that.
Goldbelly is like a distributor for those places.
Yeah, so it's a website. So I can go and I could buy like a cake that's from a famous bakery in like Louisiana. I can go buy like Utopia Bagels. What? And then they send it. They send it.
Interesting.
To you. I did a cake for Melissa's birthday, my other friend's husband's birthday. They send it to you, frozen or whatever, and they give you all the instructions.
Right. Okay, I gotta look into that. Thank you for the tip there. I gotta look into that. Yeah, please send it my way. Because again, I say that the biggest not issue, because at the end of the day, like if people want it, people pay, especially during the holidays. I had a guy. I had a guy who used to work with Dagoman who ended up. He was like Army Reserve, and they shipped him out for a season. And he was in Japan, and he had Boricua. And he was like, we're going international. So I can honestly say, oh, thank you, I got it already. That was quick. I sent him like pasteles. He's sitting there eating pasteles with a bunch of chinos behind him. It was great. It was fantastic. It was hilarious. While he was in Japan. So that was like my first international shipment. It cost like $400, some ridiculous amount of money to send it. I felt bad, but he's like, I don't care, just send it. And it reminds me of my mother. I'm stuck here with all these idiots. I promise I'll do whatever I can on my part to make sure that you guys get at least one more viewer, which is probably going to be my mom. And the second one will be my dad.
Hola, mami.
Yeah. I told mommy, I said, mami, tengo una entrevista. And she's like, ¿con quién? I said, con una amiga. Ay, Dios mío, va a estar en la televisión. I said, yeah, mami, yeah. Yo no sabía, tú vas a ser artista. I was like, oh, my. There she goes. Number one fan.
You got to put on the TV for her. My husband watches it on the TV. It freaks me out. I'm like, oh my God, I'm on the TV. I need to leave the room.
It's too big.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's too big.
Definitely.
Don't worry. I got you all your backs.
Yeah, I gotta give you
Thank
know what?
God you got
I gotta give a little shout out. Obviously, mom and dad play a big role, but yeah, my wife, I gotta give her credit. It's been hard for her. Yeah, yeah, it was funny. It was like God was like, "All right, dude, you've done enough for 7, 8 years. Now digest what you've done. Stop pushing. Stop pushing." And I
Mhm.
had no choice. But then that was the moment where I was like, "Ooh, I was a little douchey for the last couple of years and not being around and like I said, I was probably, sleeping with girls, because I was in the kitchen. Again, those days I was like, no lie, I was 7 days a week, 15, 18-hour days. That's not a lie. People think it's crazy. I'm like, I'm not lying. I worked one time, no lie, I think it was 33 hours straight and I lost $500. So it was just like you don't less is more. I learned. Don't say yes to everything because just because you have more work doesn't mean you're making money. Like all these things are just part of that. Again, going back to what Millie said, the entrepreneurial side of it all, right? And then relationships and the people you with, and you don't realize that sometimes when so like the toughest part, I think, trying to be an entrepreneur is unfortunately, and this is my experience or my learning lesson, is you're going to alienate a lot of things, man, in trying to reach your goal, right? So just be
Mhm.
conscious of that. Like, and whether that's, I thank God I didn't have little kids at the time. That's why I decided to pull the trigger. But I got to say, like, my wife took a hit, from a relationship standpoint, So, and another fun fact is people are like, well, why'd you go with me? Well, obviously being Spanglish, New Yorican, me, casa, because obviously spelled M-I. The reality is because when I first started my menu ideas and we had just bought our first home, I used to create
Oh,
little menus
wow.
and have guests over to test like my menu because I was in culinary school. I was like, you got to try just like fake little bills and charge you and like give me responses, whatever. And it was just like friends and family. And it was called Maria and
Mhm.
Eddie's Cafe. Her name was Maria. So it was Me Cafe. So Maria and Eddie, the initial. So that's how Mi Casa came out. So yeah.
Nice.
Yep, yep, yep. So flowers to the wifey for dealing with my crazy ass.
Thank you, Eddie, for coming and joining
Thank you
us and
guys. It's my pleasure.
sharing
It
your
was nice to
stories.
catch up. I'll be very, very honest with you. Well overdue catch up. And I appreciate you guys and I love all three of you. God bless you. Lots of love to you, your families, your hubbies. Keep doing your thing. Flowers, I applaud you. Three beautiful Latina educated women. You need your flowers and I love what you're doing. So keep doing it.